Hello everyone. Well, I have a problem. I build a lot of Eurorack modules and I don't have any place to put them. All my cases are full of modules and there are still piles of modules that I don't have any space for. So, I guess that the responsible thing to do here is to build a bigger case. So this is what we are going to do in a couple of episodes. Alright, what are the main requirements then for this new Eurorack case? I have a very small corner of my house where I can have my gear set up, and desk space is precious. But at the same time I don't want to put everything onto the walls, since I want to be able to use my sequencers and mixer modules and other interactive modules in a convenient way. I have decided to go for a setup with 3 6U sections that uses 114 HP rails. This will give me 684 HP in total. The lower 6U section should be angled at 15 degrees to give easy access to my trigger sequencer, CV sequencers and clock generation modules. And my mixer of course. I have actually experimented a bit with this setup using my 104 HP skiff, and I think that it worked just great. Next topic is the frame to hold everything together. My previous case was made using Paulovnia wood. This is a light wood that is easy to cut and sand, and the case gets surprisingly lightweight. It's almost like balsa wood, but much stronger. Sadly, this option is not available anymore, since I can't get hold of it anymore in Sweden. I might go for glued wood panels made from oak or maybe pine to save cost and weight. Another low-cost option would be to use MDF or plywood, but I decided not to do that. The final piece of the puzzle is the power supply. In my previous case, I used 2 low-cost Meanwell 12V SMPS to provide positive and negative 12V. And I added a 7805 linear regulator to all my busboards to provide 5V. It turned out that I only own one module that needs 5V, but that might change in the future, so it's a good idea to have 5V as well. My approach this time is to design a couple of DC-DC boards and use a single AC-DC SMPS to power them. I also need to design new busboards for this case, so let's get started with that. The first busboard that I made for my old case was a short one, so I actually had to use 2 of them for each row. But for this new case, I will design a long busboard. The design is super simple. It's just a row of 16-pin boxed headers connected to 4-pin screw terminal. But I will also add a second screw terminal, so it will be possible to daisy chain several busboards. This will simplify the internal wiring in the case. Finally, I will add 3 LEDs and a bank of reservoir capacitors, but these are of course optional. I was able to fit 21 box header connectors, and the total length of the board is around 45 centimeters. And I have placed the screw terminals in the middle. The width of the board is 5 centimeters, and there are a number of mounting holes at the top and bottom to secure the PCB to the back panel of the case. Okay, let's put one of these long busboards together. Apart from the PCB, we will need 3 100 microfarad capacitors, 2 4-pin screw terminals, LEDs, and finally 21 16-pin box headers. The recommended assembly order will be start with the lowest component first, and we will finish with the highest component, which are the electrolytic capacitors. The LEDs need a couple of SMT resistors, and I have chosen quite high values, because I only want the LEDs to glow a little bit. This is of course totally up to your own taste, or if you want to remove them altogether. Next we mount the LEDs. Red is for 5V, green is for plus 12V, and minus 12V is yellow. Alright, it's time for the boxed headers. Make sure that you place them the right way. The pin 1 marker should align with the white silk print marking on the PCB. I use a strip of masking tape to hold them in place while I turn the PCB over and solder them to the PCB. There are a lot of soldering points and it's easy to miss one, so take your time and be careful. Next we have the screw terminals, and finally we have the electrolytic capacitors. Okay, let's make a quick smoke test by applying power and check that the LEDs are working. That's 1 down, 5 more to go. The next thing to do is to go ahead with the design of the power supply solution and the DC-DC board. So the next episode will be about that. Take care, and I'll see you soon again. Goodbye.